Hey guys, wanted to do a little hunt recap on a mule deer buck hunt that I did a couple years ago that I never recapped whatsoever. I did post a little pack out video of this buck, but there's really no backstory and nobody really understands what's going on. So I wanted to do a little video kind of getting back into that whole story. I consider this buck my most successful hunt probably of all time. A couple years ago, my wife and I took out a big loan to put in utilities on my property. So I have 20 acres here with the wife on the family ranch. The family owns a whole bunch more property around here, but my wife and I own 20 acres now. And we were trying to get water, power, and septic done so that we could start building a place here. And of course, with how everything works out in today's day and age, we literally got the money the first week of October. And of course, everybody knows that October is the best month to start really locating big mule deer bucks. And I was really persistent to try to get another mule deer buck. And we got the money from our loan the first week of October. With the way our day and age goes, that was how it played out. And it was just all hands on deck trying to get stuff done before winter. And here in Montana in the north, winter is pretty much the second week of October. And so we got the money, and immediately I knew my hunting season was pretty much done. We were trying to get a whole bunch of groundwork done before the ground froze. We were trying to get a whole bunch of water lines buried, hooked up, a water pump put in, you name it. So all the stuff that's just very time sensitive when winter's coming, we were pretty much all hands on deck trying to get this stuff done. And long story short, we never did get it all done that fall. We never got it done that winter. We spent the whole rest of last year working on it, so that's why my videos have been kind of short and seldom. And here we are in the summer of 2025. We got our utilities pretty much done for the most part. There's just some finishing touches we have to do, some landscaping and just fixing some insulation, things like that. Some fittings are leaking, but for the most part we're done with that. So that's awesome. But it really put a hamper on my hunting season, and so I pretty much threw the towel in on even shooting a deer, definitely shooting an elk, because of how much more work that would have entailed for me to find something after all these years of trying to find a good elk to shoot. And pretty much threw the towel in, was not going to be hunting. Every single weekend I had something else going on at home that I needed to do that was a higher priority to get us to closer to our goals of living on our property. So just had to pretty much watch every single weekend go by, and knowing all the boys are out looking for deer and shooting deer, and you can hear gunshots in the mountains when you drive through the areas, and I was definitely jealous. But got to grow up, got to be a man, got to do what you got to do to survive and to live and to build a place for your family and to excel in this life. And sometimes hunting gets put on the back burner. And I'm fortunate enough to have bucks on the ranch, and I actually did have a rifle in my Jeep at the time. I was looking at deer running around the ranch. I could have taken a whole bunch of deer, but I just was not too happy with shooting a 3-4 point, smaller, medium 3 or 4 point whitetail buck on the ranch, as I would be with a tiny mule deer on top of a mountain. And I thought if I just got one day, one weekend or something where I just could get away, if plans fall through or the weather's really bad to do anything or whatever, then I was going to go out and try to find a mule deer high on a mountain somewhere. I was okay with it even being a tiny mule deer buck, but I just wanted the mule deer experience, the mountain experience, the hunt, the pack out, the meat. I didn't want to just drive my Jeep up right to a whitetail deer herd on the ranch and take it over to the meat shed in 5 minutes and have it all done. So obviously I'm a hunter, I'm a mountain hunter. I love the experience, and that's what I was after. So working on my pump house and trying to get the roof done and trying to get insulation done, I managed to cut my hand open pretty good with a razor blade. That was not planned and that was not intentional. I know some people might believe that I was trying to get time off work, but cut my hand open pretty well, and I knew that I was not able to efficiently go to work the next day. And so I called in and I said, hey, I can't use my left hand. It's all bandaged up. It's bleeding pretty bad. I don't know if I need stitches or not, but I'm just going to give it a couple days to seal up, and then I should be good to go. Well, had the day off work and had the day off home projects. And I thought, well, I don't need my hand to hike. My hand doesn't stop me from hiking on a mountain. And having this time off work and having this time off from home projects, I figured I was going to go for a drive on this mountain and see what I could get. It was the only day that I figured I'd have the whole rest of the year, and I knew that I had one chance to get this done, and otherwise forfeit my tag and eat my tag and not have any meat in the freezer. And I just didn't like that. Got in the truck, drove over to my target mountain that I've been hunting the last few years now. And sure enough, there's a freaking truck at the gate. I don't even remember what kind of truck it was. I just remember it was white. But I figured this is way too late for me to try to find another place to go hunting. I want to go up here. I know there's mule deer up here. Oh, there's a little fawn right here. 2 fawns right here. Wow. And parked at the gate. There's this truck here. Who cares? I know there's like 1,000 acres, 10,000 acres back here. There's trail systems. There's a whole bunch of other gates that all connect and intersect. Some of these roads don't even connect, so I have no idea where this person might be going, where this group of people might be going. But I'm going to go in there. If I see them, I'm going to turn around and go the other direction. And hopefully they get something. Hopefully I get something. So I get in here. In about 1.5 miles, I see this guy. He was walking the same exact road I'm going, and there was a fork. There was like a fork with a 3-road split, and I picked the middle one. And of course this guy picked the middle one too. And I ran into him about 1 mile, maybe about 1 mile after the fork. And the moment our eyes locked, he was probably about 200 yards away. Our eyes locked, and he got up and he took off. And I'm thinking, well, that was kind of stupid. Like, let's just wait for me to meet up with you. We can talk and make a plan where you want to go, where I want to go. We'll get out of each other's way. We will shoot other directions. But this guy just got up and walked off. So eventually I caught up to him, and he was pissed. He was absolutely fuming mad that I was there, which is crazy because it's public land. It's 1.5 miles past a gate that had forks all around it, that had intersecting roads, logging roads all around it. I had no idea this guy was going to be on this particular road. And I came up to make peace and to make amends and to figure out a plan for both of us that we'll both be happy with. This guy said, "Did you park at the gate?" And I said, "What gate?" Because I was thinking, there are lots of gates around this mountain. And he said, "Did you park behind the gate down here, behind my white truck?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I parked right behind your white truck." And he said, "Why?" There's a fawn walking right up to me. And I said, "What do you mean why? This is public land. There's millions of acres back here. This goes on to frickin' Canada." And also the funny thing is, this guy was obviously not as well prepared to hike these mountains as I was. He was wearing looked like duck hunting waders, almost like neoprene boots that you'd be working in the mud or whatever, ice in winter. A small backpack, a wooden gun stock. I could just tell this guy's not like a long-range shooter. He's not planning to be out all day. He doesn't have a big enough pack to carry all these things that he might need to be out here by himself and to pack a meat out. I don't even think he had a pack frame or even any like real meat hauling backpacks. I don't know what his plan was, but I said, "Well, what do you want to do?" He said, "Well, I came out here and I was going to glass all these openings." And these openings are literally 900 yards away from where we were standing. I'm thinking there's no way on earth you're going to be, first off, shooting over there. And two, by the time you get over there to those openings, we're not going to be clashing. I could be anywhere out here. By the time you get over there, I could be anywhere. I can be north, south, east, west. I could be so far from you, you would never even know I'm here. Why are you so mad? And so he told me he wants to glass these openings. I said, fine, go glass those. I am going to go way down that direction, away from you. And you want to go here, I'll go way over there. That's fine with me. So, huge damper in my plans now that I have another person in my hunt spot that's also mule deer hunting, who's also very angry with me, potentially could even try to, like, you know, sabotage or pressure things, or you know, have some kind of a motivation to hunt harder than me. This is just a huge blow to me, thinking, man, there's another person here, there's another truck here, there's a guy here that knows I'm here now. He knows I'm by myself, he knows I'm mule deer hunting, he knows which way I'm going. I really can't screw this up. I have one day out and I just cannot screw this up. And you know, it's one thing if you're out all season, you're hunting for 10 days straight, you know exactly where the mule deer are going every night, you see their patterns, you know where they're going for water, where they're feeding, you know where the big bucks are bedding. You've hunted all over these areas and got cameras out or whatever. I just kind of went in blind the first day out on this mountain that season, and I knew I had to find a mule deer buck that I could take home. Now, with this secondary pressure, with this resistance, with this you know, second adversary now, not just time, not just the daunting steep mountain, big mountain, but now I got another person to contend with who also hates me and wishes I was never there. So I felt like the odds were pretty far against me to get something at that point. So he keeps walking the road, and I'm like, I'm gonna get off the road. Obviously this guy's gonna keep walking the roads. I'm gonna get off the road and I am going to bushwhack my way through here, hopefully cut some tracks and maybe find a mule deer. Well, I get off trail, I put on my crampons. There's pretty deep snow at this point. There's a bunch of ice and frozen sleet and stuff down at the bottom of this kind of this little drainage. In the trees, it's really dark and dense in there. Sunlight doesn't really get in there, so it's just really crunchy and wet and frozen and just like this weird mess of ice and water. So I put on my crampons and I get down in there and notice I'm way too deep, way too thick in here. I got to get myself out of here. And I start bombing back out of there towards a road. The crampons really helped to get out of that. So I got up to this road, and as you get out of this, you get out into the open where the sunlight's been hitting everything, and all of the snow and ice is melted off this road. It's just gravel. It's just lots of gravel and rocks and and slides, like little rock slides where just a bunch of gravel and fully thawed rocks are exposed. And I'm walking with my crampons on these rocks, and they're just clang, just like clicking, like clanging while I'm walking on these rocks with them. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking I really should probably take these off. These are making a lot of noise. I'm not sure if I'm going to turn this corner and run into more snow and ice. I don't know if I'm going to need to go down. I'll have to take them back off the pack. On and on and on. So as I'm like deciding that I should probably take them off, I turn this corner and there's just a massive herd of mule deer. And they blow off, run up this mountain, and they're gone forever. I never saw if there was a buck with them, but there was probably 10 deer total. And when you see that many mule deer does in one spot, there's gotta be a buck walking around with them on the, I mean, this was like, you know, Thanksgiving week. It's like prime time for deer rut up here. And they take off, and I think, oh my gosh, that was my only chance, and I just blew it because I was too lazy to take these crampons off and put them back on. Very discouraging at that point. I mean, it was like, I can't believe I just blew off. And I mean, I walked right into them. I was 10 yards from these does when I turned this corner. I think they were just really curious what that sound was. It didn't really sound like footsteps, it just sounded like, you know, clanging, so they probably never heard that before. And when I turned the corner, they blew off, ran 100 miles an hour up this finger ridge and into the trees, and I lost them. I mean, it was so steep I couldn't even run after them if I wanted to, with crampons on too, on these rocks. And I figured, okay, it's about to get dark here in about an hour. This was pretty late. It was about to get dark here in about an hour, and I just blew up the only mule deer I've seen all day. And as I'm just sitting there, you know, kind of deciding what to do, I look back and I see that guy walking the ridge line, walking this like road on the ridge line towards me, after we decided that we're gonna split up and he's gonna go one way, I was gonna go the other way. He's walking towards me, and I was just so mad. I'm like, I gotta get the hell out of this guy's freaking face. Let him, you know, shoot those couple drainages. I'm gonna go so far from this guy so that he can't even catch up to me, and I don't have to deal with him. Because I don't know if he might be scaring stuff around or whatever, moving things around up there. Maybe he'll be shooting at something that I already glassed up, whatever. I was like, I gotta get the hell out of this guy's face. And so I just turned and I just kept going, and I covered ground as fast as I could, while also trying to stay as quiet as I could. And the entire time I'm thinking, I have one chance to make this happen. I have to do every single thing right. Don't make these mistakes anymore. Don't be too lazy to take your crampons on and off. Don't not play the wind. Don't get too close to these other hunters and let them, you know, scare the game that I'm trying to stalk. Don't make a bad shot. Don't, you know, leave my phone volume turned on and get a text message. Don't leave my inReach turned on and get a vibration or a beeping or whatever. I was just thinking I have to do every single thing right today if I want this to work out. And then on top of that, I have to do everything right, and I still have to get lucky to run into a legal buck. And that's something I can't control. I can control all those other variables, my laziness, my technology, my sounds, my smell, my wind. I can control all of that, but I cannot control if I'm gonna see a buck or not that day. And this entire time I'm walking, and I just see this down in the drainage. I'm on top and I'm looking down into this drainage, and I see these mule deer just bust out of there. They must have heard me or seen me when I turn this corner, and they just start running single file out of this drainage, running up this mountain. And I'm the way it's positioned is I could see it's a small, I mean, the creek is a foot wide, small drainage, and it's just running up and up and up, and it's all open, and I can just see them running up and out of there. And I think I have maybe like a 300-yard shot at the furthest, but from where I blew them up, it was about, I'd say maybe 50 yards. So from 50 to 300, I can just see them running. And obviously I'm not looking all the way out there. I'm looking to see what's coming out of this drainage. And it's doe, 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 doe. And I'm holding my gun and I'm like, which one? Come on, please be a buck. And then this buck runs out. I mean, tiny little, it was almost forked on both sides, but he was pretty flat. And I just see him, and it was just like he was sprinting, full on run. And I picked that gun up, and I was just thinking, you have to make this count. I mean, make this shot count. This buck is running 100 miles an hour, and I freaking took that shot. I don't recommend taking running shots, but I was very desperate at this point. And with everything the way it aligned, I shot that buck, and I just see him freaking drop, and he just rolled all the way down. I shot him right in the back of the spine, just shot him right into the spine, and just dropped him, and then he rolled down. And he rolled down to about 50 yards. I think I shot him at about 100, and he rolled down about 50 yards, and I sent another one into him. And that was that. I just shot a muley buck. I'm shaking. Not a monster, but man, I'm glad to take anything. This is my first day out actually hiking, hunting this season. And season's over in like 4 or 5 days. So I wanted to take any legal muley buck. Looks like a good one. I shot him once. And I thought he was dead. He rolled down the hill a good ways, and he got up again, and I sent another one his way, and so he got hit twice. Looks like he's piled up down there. And I mean, I didn't have to look very far. There was just a streak of blood all the way down the snow, and I just followed that blood right up to him. Processed this deer right there. He died like 2 feet from the water. I was able to wash my hands, wash my knife, wash everything out, and pack this deer out of that mountain. It was a 5-mile pack out with the small mule deer buck. I mean, small mule deer bucks are bigger than like big whitetail bucks. There's way more meat on a mule deer buck. I don't even like shooting whitetail bucks anymore with how little meat you get compared to shooting a big mule deer buck. And that whole day, I did not see or hear anything from that other guy. I did not hear another gunshot, unless his gun had a suppressor on it or something, which I didn't see it. Maybe he had it in his pack and he put it on later, or he was bow hunting with a tiny, tiny bow that fit in his tiny backpack. I don't know, but I did not hear another gunshot, and I don't think that guy harvested anything. And I will attribute that to not wanting to be a team player, not wanting to go the extra mile. You know, I saw competition and I suggested you go that way and I go this way and we'll both succeed. And he wanted me out of there. He wanted the whole mountain to himself. I mean, there's millions of acres in these woods. That whole mountain has, I don't even know, there's got to be like 10,000 acres on this mountain, just on the mountain itself. I mean, we will not see each other for weeks if we don't want to see each other. I mean, like, you don't have to be that mad at me for being here. And I came home with a buck that night and he did not. And so that's my story of what I would consider my most successful mule deer hunt. I had 1 day to get it done. I had a whole bunch of adversary situations with competition, with weather, with the mountain, with time, with the noise, and I made it happen. 1 day, and I got this big small mule deer buck. Big amount of meat though, and packed it all out. Never spoiled any meat. It was just like all the pieces lined up when I decided I was gonna do what I have to do the hard thing to make this happen. Look at that fawn. Look at this fawn. Let me show you.